So the ingredients you're going to be using today is 2 to 3 chicken breast, 2 jars of Alfredo sauce, half a jar of marinara sauce, 1 bell pepper, half a Vidalia onion, and 1 box of gluten-free penne noodles. So here's what you'll be seeing when you have all your ingredients together. I only have 2 chicken breasts for this time because that's all we had in our fridge. And I also have the spices on the right. And the spices you'll be needing is paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. One thing that's not on here that you will also be using is the Worcestershire sauce. I don't know why I don't have it in this picture, but you will be using it when you are cooking the chicken. Alright, so the total calories are now on your screen. It shows each calories for each item. The total calories come out to be about 3,328 calories total. And the serving size being 2 cups, with the total servings 7.5, which equates to about 445 calories a serving. Granted, the calories can change, but they should stay in the 400 to 500 calorie range per serving, depending on what ingredients you're using. The total cost comes out to around $13. Granted, this may be completely different from what you have, depending on where you live. This is just what it adds up for me and where I live. So the first thing you're going to want to do is slice up the onions and peppers. You want to slice up the onions and peppers very finely into small pieces, and then you're going to want to throw them in the pot you're going to be having your pasta, your chicken, and everything else in. Once they're all cut up, add some vegetable or olive oil in there to help them not stick to the pan while they're being sauteed in the pot. You're going to want to put the onions and peppers on low to medium heat, so the number 3 or 4 on the stove. And you're going to want to cover them with a lid while they're cooking for the 30 to 45 minutes. And you will be adding the chicken into the pot as well. Don't forget to stir this as they're cooking. After the onions and peppers have been sliced and are now cooking, you want to get started on the chicken. You want to cut all the fat off the chicken, and you want to cut the chicken into small bite-sized pieces that are easy to cook. You're not going to be shredding them like you did in the jambalaya video. These will stay small bite-sized pieces, and it will add a lot more volume to the pot after you're done cooking everything. Don't forget to wash your hands after cutting the chicken and the cutting board. Do not reuse the knife. You will get salmonella, and it just will not be a fun experience. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Now we're going to get started on cooking the chicken. Initially, you do want to add butter to your skillet when you are cooking the chicken. I didn't do that because I forgot to. So what you want to do is you want to put the pot on a heat level, a medium heat, so about 5 on the stovetop. And after you do that, you're going to want to season the chicken with pepper, salt, paprika, and Worcestershire sauce. Make sure to cook the chicken all the way through. One way to tell if the chicken's cooked all the way through is you take your spatula and you press down onto the pieces, and when they split in half easily, that piece is normally cooked. But just to double check, make sure that there is no pink inside of the chicken at all. Again, that will give you salmonella, and you don't want that. Once the chicken is all the way cooked through, you're going to want to add the chicken to the bell pepper and onion pot. Depending on when you start cooking the chicken, the onion and bell pepper should have been simmering for about roughly 15-20 minutes, and mix it all together. Once you add the chicken to the pot, put the lid back on it. That way the flavors can mix together. So the proper way to cook gluten-free penne noodles is you want to get a decently sized pot. You want to have about 2 to 4 quarts of water in the pot. And one thing you want to do is you want to add a good bit of vegetable or olive oil, enough to cover the surface of the water. You want to get that pot boiling. I recommend doing this while you start cooking the chicken, because depending on the stove or the pot you're using, it could take a while for it to heat up. But once everything starts boiling, add some butter to it. It gives it a bit more flavor. And once the water's boiling, you want to set a timer for about 15 minutes and dump the penne noodles in there. Constantly stir it. Add some salt to the penne noodles. It helps them taste and cook better. To check and make sure that the noodles are done, what you're going to want to do is try and fish a noodle out of the boiling pot. Let it cool off, take a bite out of it. If it's really soft and it's not chewy, then it's good. So once your pasta is done cooking, after the 15 minutes or however long it takes for the noodles to be soft, you're going to want to dump them in a strainer in the sink to get all the water out of it. Then take it back over to the pot where the chicken and the bell pepper and the onions are. Dump it in the pot. Do not stir it just yet. We'll get to that here in a second. Once everything has been mixed together, what you're going to want to do is add the 2 jars of Alfredo sauce and the half a jar of marinara sauce. And then what I like to do is I like to add a good bit of garlic powder into the sauce, because I like my pasta tasting very garlicky. And for an added kick, you can add cayenne pepper. This is optional. If you don't like spice because you're boring, don't add it. But if you do like spice and you are a person of culture, then add about a tablespoon of cayenne pepper to this, and it just gives it a way better flavor if you can actually handle it, even though some of y'all can't because you don't have culture. Make sure to stir the pasta, mix it all together, make sure it's all mixed in very well. This takes about 5 to 10 minutes to stir in. Taste it, make sure it has a good flavor that you like. Don't be afraid to add more garlic powder. If you have to, add onion powder need be. If you need to, add pepper. Just try and get it to a flavor you like. I do this a couple times in the video, as in the clip you're seeing here. But once it's to a flavor you're liking, and once it's all mixed in pretty well, you're going to want to just serve it. Make sure you don't leave the stove on when you're serving this. Once everything's mixed in, cut the stove off. You don't want anything burning to the bottom of the pot. And enjoy.